I mean, what's wrong with them?
Well, I agree with Rand Paul's column that he just wrote. You know, he said that most police officers are good cops and good people, and it's a difficult job in circumstances. So I'm not necessarily faulting the police. And my interaction was actually with the federal agents in New Orleans and people who were former police officers who became FBI agents. But I think that it's a top-down problem. You know, the people, just like the situation on the border this past week, we went down there and the federal agents were nowhere to be found. They're kind of just doing their jobs, but it's the people on top, it's the people in Washington that are giving the orders to them not to do their jobs or to do a different job. But there's an increasing effort to make journalism illegal in this country, to make gathering information when you're out in the field. I'm not talking about people who sit in cubicles in New York City, people who are out there in the field gathering information. There is an effort to try to either destroy their character or put them in jail. And just now, we're starting to see it on the left. We're starting to see people at mainstream media outlets face the same type of issues that you've faced and I've faced and citizen journalists have faced.
That's right, and it's scary to see it intensifying, and now they have internet kill switches going in. Obama's making announcements, commandeering my phone all the time. Even when it's off, it turns on with Obama messages. My dad, my mom, everybody I know is getting them. The whole office phones ring, and I get these weird Democrat messages. Now they passed a bill in California to make kill switches by law be in all the phones so police can turn them off during situations like this. The genie cannot be put back in the bottle. Let me expand on this with you and then talk about your border investigation. What do you make of attempts by the IRS to shut down free speech, and now the IRS isn't getting in any trouble? James, that's what concerns me, is that they've gotten away with all this and that what's bad is about to get a lot worse.
Yeah, there was someone comment. And by the way, what's happening with Washington Post and the Huffington Post, like it's deplorable and it's outrageous. But it is interesting to note that, you know, when Catherine Engelbrecht in Texas gets audited by the IRS and her company faces harassment from the Justice Department, that is equally bad. I mean, we're talking about both of these things are bad, but nobody cares about the IRS. Nobody cares about the IRS harassing innocent people, harassing, auditing Andrew Cuomo, auditing me in New York State. No one cares about that. It's only about this one incident now in Missouri. But I mean, I've said publicly that I'm going to do an investigation into the IRS. I'm going to go undercover. I have to be careful because the IRS is a federal agency, and there are laws which the federal government interprets broadly. So if I'm like going undercover into a federal building, I have to be careful. But I'm going to investigate the IRS probably in the fall or in the wintertime. And I'd love to get on tape, on undercover tape, people like Lois Lerner speaking candidly about her motives and about
well, you know where to go. I mean, you reported on it. In Dallas, when people pointed out they were Democrats, they have Democrat parties with stickers, and they all get in big meeting halls and basically chant and admit they're on a team to target conservatives. I mean, they're like Nazis or the Soviets. I mean, they know they're bad.
Well, you got to go to the conferences. You got to go to like where they have like the IRS did the Congo line. Going to the summits, the conferences, the barbecues.
You got to go into their Las Vegas parties, exactly.
And you got to get them speaking. If we had videotape of Lois Lerner saying exactly how she felt about the Tea Party, everything would change. Forget Congress, forget the hearings. We'd bypass that and go right to it would outrage everyone. And I think that like the Osama bin Laden thing. The whole notion of terrorists crossing into the United States, that's not a divisive issue. Immigration is a divisive issue. People, I like immigrants, I don't like immigrants, that's racist, you're not racist. But the moment you switch to something, like targeting people and getting it on tape, I think that's going to bring people together. That's exactly what I want to get on tape.
Well, I mean, you're not just a journalist, James. You've changed the world.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And then I'm just sick of all these lazy New York Times and CNN people. Oh, you read the New York Times, you're so smart. When they just go around regurgitating pseudo-intellectual crap from the White House. So you're not as good as the New York Times. You're 1,000 times better, and I mean it.
Thank you.
We are the new press, and we wear our bias to promote freedom and tell the truth openly. We'll be back.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Quantitative easing, unemployment at depression levels, Europe financial system falling apart, China getting out of U.S. treasuries. At the end of 2008, the time of TARP, the national debt was at $11 trillion, gold trading around $850 per ounce. Close to 2012, the national debt exceeded $16.4 trillion, gold doubled to $1,600 per ounce. The $20 trillion threshold for the national debt is inevitable. Politicians in Washington have a ferocious appetite for spending and stimulus. What's worse, a printing press to finance. 100 years ago, we had a gold standard to limit this madness, but now you have to adopt your own gold standard. Don't be fooled with paper promises. Get Midas Resources 10 Reasons to Buy Gold free by calling 800-686-2237. Understanding the gold and silver market may be the only insurance you could have to avoiding the next economic crisis. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order your free copy. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
Question: could too many GMO foods and toxins be overloading your digestive and immune systems? Answer: yes. If you're searching for a powerful detox that's gentle enough to use every day, use Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Pro-EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic that uses good bacteria to suppress pathogens and gently eliminate toxins from your body. A healthy digestive system will cleanse and remove toxins, support weight loss, improve absorption of food nutrients, and aid in controlling yeast and other infections. Pro-EM1 is made with only non-GMO and certified organic ingredients, has no preservatives, and is dairy, soy, wheat, and gluten-free. Pro-EM1 is the key to your digestive health. Order Pro-EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Teraganix.com, spelled Teraganix.com, or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Also available through Amazon Prime. Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Life's getting better.
You've been hearing about the in-home freeze dryer from Harvest Right for months now. Have you invested in yours yet? As you know, we live in a politically and economically troubled time. You should be preparing for an uncertain future today. Right now is the time to start freeze drying your own food so you can become self-reliant and less dependent upon others. To invest in your own home freeze dryer, go to harvestright.com. Hurry, supplies are limited. Again, that's a home freeze dryer from harvestright.com. And be sure to mention this ad to save $200 through the month of August.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Blockit Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
I'm James O'Keefe. I'm right in the center of the Mexican-American border, and I see no border patrol. I see no security. Thousands of people have stood in my footsteps right now. They've come from South America, Honduras, Guatemala, and they've all crossed the border. And if they can cross, anybody can cross. And I'm here today to ask you, do you feel safe?
He's dressed as Osama bin Laden crossing the river. He even walks like bin Laden. Is that bin Laden or is it Obama? See the whole video at ProjectVeritas.com. James, I want to get you back for a full hour in the near future. We obviously sell your book that chronicles all the amazing things you and your group have been part of, and it's a how-to go out and be a true grassroots, muckraking journalist. You and Matt Drudge and others are heralding the return, and InfoWars as well, and my reporters and many others, of journalism. The mainstream has become a vacuum because they don't operate like journalists. They're repeaters. When they do journalistic activities, they get rubber bulleted and arrested. In closing, in the 5 minutes we've got left, Matt Drudge last year tweeted that Senator Feinstein was a fascist, and she is a fascist, saying that the New York Times could have journalistic protections, but you and I couldn't, that it has to be a mainline media group, and that Congress has to say who has the First Amendment. Well, that's like the state saying they can say what churches can exist. We've all got to come together as the press and as the people and decry what's happened, or we're going to lose it all. The system is threatened by this. And the cops, I mean, if there's no First Amendment, they're going to lose their Second Amendment. And so we're all in this together. Your take on what we face as a society and where you see us as a culture.
I think it requires ordinary citizens stepping outside their comfort zone. You made a comment in the last segment. You said they're sitting in their cubicles in New York, or they're sitting in New York City and Washington. Some people got to get out into the field. They got to take their cameras outside the newsroom and go out into the crowd. And I don't care whether you're on the left or the right. The fact that you're in Missouri or you're in Texas, you're on the border. A lot of people criticize me. What are you doing down there, James? Aren't you making a mockery of this whole border debate by dressing up like Osama? And I said, actually, CNN showed images of the lack of a fence, and they were only showing those images because of that we did at Project Veritas. So we forced the mainstream media to cover issues they don't want to talk about.
They always complain when we're successful and change the world. Bringing down Acorn, exposing the IRS. You've done that in dozens of other world-shaking stories. So they say you don't have an effect and you're pathetic and you're discredited because you got arrested. I mean, it's ridiculous. They say Drudge doesn't have any power and I don't have any power. It's pure bull. They're losing the power because they're frauds. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They need to leave their air-conditioned offices and go out into the country and take a camera. Like, I have a way to change. Here's how we change the world. All the people that consider themselves journalists, let's say there's 10 or 20,000 of them, just take a camera, leave your office, go to a local area government office and start asking difficult questions. If all the journalists just took a camera and started asking questions, the world would be a better place. But they're not going to do that. They're going to sit on Twitter all day. And that's my urge. I urge journalists to do this type of thing. And as far as Feinstein is concerned and all those people, yeah, it's very scary stuff, but they can't stop all of us. So we got to stick together and step outside our comfort zones and go out in the field. That's my solution.
Well, you're absolutely right. And mainstream media's ratings continue to plunge while our ratings go up and up and up. I call them the dinosaur media. I call us the real media. I mean, what's the best name for establishment media in your view? And then what's the best name for us?
I would call them political marketing officials. I would not call them journalists because they're advertisers for the political marketing industry. That's like Politico.com is a sort of ruling class marketing machine that they basically, Politico.com serves the political class in Washington, and then the political class in Washington serves Politico.com. What we should call ourselves is journalists. I'm even thinking about abandoning the citizen portion of that, just journalists, because that's the role of a journalist, is to speak truth to power. And I think that's what we should refer. But these labels, these notions that, well, he's a journalist, therefore it's wrong for that he got arrested. But O'Keefe and Alex Jones, well, they're not journalists, so I hope they rot in prison. And these labels are just ridiculous. The fact is we're exposing the truth, we're speaking truth to power, and you're going out into the field to gather information.
Absolutely, and everybody needs to get out and do their own YouTubes, their own news, and then there's no way they can ever censor all of it. The real revolution is the info war right now. James O'Keefe, from all the info warriors, we salute you. Look forward to your next incredible triumph over tyranny, and folks need to support you and us as well. That's another way to fight back, is for people to support true independent journalists. Thank you so much, James.
Thank you.
We're on the march.